In 2024, the Korea Aerospace Research Institute, KASA, sends a crewed mission to the moon in an attempt to join the countries that have successfully landed on it. Tragically, all the astronauts die due to a technical glitch that causes the spacecraft to explode during landing. This event shocks and disappoints everyone in South Korea. 5 years later, in 2029, South Korea is determined to regain its reputation and attempts to send 3 new astronauts to the moon. The astronauts, Commander Lee, Cho, and Hwang, undergo intense training to ensure the success of the mission. Before their departure, they share their personal motivations with the public. Lee plans to name his unborn baby girl while looking at the Earth from space. Cho is going for his wife and son, and Hwang wants to fulfill his deceased father's dreams. It is revealed that Hwang's father was one of the astronauts from the previous failed mission. On the day of the launch, the spacecraft is successfully launched, but it is soon hit by solar winds that cause significant damage to the electronic control unit and navigation system. The astronauts lose contact with the control room, causing widespread concern among the citizens. Lee and Cho inspect the spacecraft from the outside, hoping to repair it. Hwang, who has limited knowledge of technology, becomes increasingly paranoid. However, his partners reassure him that they have everything under control. During their inspection, the astronauts discover a fuel tank leak. Before they can process this information, a massive explosion occurs, resulting in the death of Cho. Commander Lee manages to hold on to his hatchet and survive the explosion. The Space Research Center briefly regains communication with the ship, but they soon lose it again. They realize they cannot read Cho's vitals. Hwang desperately wants to go out and help, but Lee advises against it, knowing it would be fatal. In his final moments, Lee asks Hwang to reboot the system power and promises to return safely. Hwang watches in horror as Lee opens his hatch and disappears into space. Communication is briefly restored, and a devastated Hwang appears on the screen to deliver the tragic news. The CASA director instructs him to wait while they search for a solution. The Minister of Science and Technology panics, fearing another failed mission. The scientists decide to bring back the previous mission's director, Kim, who designed most of their equipment and protocols. Kim, who now works at an observatory, initially refuses but changes his mind when he learns that Hwang is the son of one of the deceased astronauts. In the control room, the scientists grow concerned as the temperature inside the ship drops significantly. Kim arrives and guides Hwang on how to use one thruster to move the ship into lunar orbit. The plan is successful, and as the temperature rises, the spacecraft becomes more stable. Kim advises Hwang to rest while they search for a solution to bring him back. Hwang, confused, asks the control room who Kim is. When he hears the name, he has flashbacks of his father's funeral and realizes Kim's connection to his past. Hwang looks at the other astronauts' family photos, empathizing with their grief. Meanwhile, Kim contacts his ex-wife Moon Young, who now works at NASA, for assistance. Unfortunately, NASA refuses to help due to the risk of a meteor shower. Han Byul, Kim's intern, informs him about the approaching meteor shower. Kim asks her to monitor it while he works on a plan for repairs. The scientists guide Hwang, who relies on autopilot. Kim recalls his previous work and his encounter with a younger Hwang, fearing another failure. Tension rises as the lander gains speed, but it successfully lands on the moon. South Korea celebrates, and Hwang steps onto the moon's surface, honoring his fallen comrades by placing their uniforms in a crew photo. He also raises the South Korean flag. Hwang proceeds to collect samples while the drone monitors the surroundings. Kim discusses repair options with the scientists, and the South Korean president pleads with NASA to assist in bringing Hwang back. Moon Young tries to convince NASA, but they refuse, suspecting her judgment is clouded by her feelings for her ex-husband. Han Byul notices concerning readings and informs Kim that the meteor shower is approaching the moon. Meanwhile, Hwang believes the radar readings are incorrect as he observes the sky. Suddenly, the area starts shaking, and meteors begin falling around him. The scientists urge Hwang to seek shelter in the lander, but he tries to escape on the rover. A large meteor lands, causing an explosion that traps the rover in a crater. Against the director's wishes, Kim resets the spacecraft's module system with a new code, effectively repairing it. Hwang calls for his drone, which lifts him out of the crater. He runs among the falling meteors and manages to reach the lander just in time. The lander takes off successfully, but a meteor hits the spacecraft, causing significant damage and sending it into a rapid descent. Kim instructs Hwang to switch to manual mode, but the shaking prevents him from reaching the controls. Hwang accidentally inhales ammonia and passes out. The lander crashes, and all communications are lost. After several failed attempts to reconnect, Hwang is declared dead. Kim returns home and contemplates self-deletion due to his inability to handle another failure. Han Byul intervenes just in time to stop him. Kim receives a message from Moon-young, informing him that Hwang is still alive. NASA intercepted Hwang's radio messages, and Moon-young provides Kim with the code to access the frequency. Kim and Han Byul rush to the observatory to retrieve old equipment and manage to hear Hwang's SOS message. Han Byul records the message while Hwang tends to his wounds. However, her attempts to connect with Hwang annoy him as she overanalyzes him based on online articles. The audio of Hwang's message goes viral, garnering global support and pressuring NASA to provide assistance. Hwang does his best to survive while Han Byul keeps him company through the comms. Meanwhile, Kim is taken back to CASA headquarters by a helicopter after Han Byul falsely reports that he is having a heart attack. Han Byul posts Hwang's SOS message on YouTube, further spreading awareness. Hwang's condition deteriorates as he struggles to care for his wounds. Han Byul's actions lead to worldwide support for Hwang, and people pressure NASA to intervene. The higher-ups at NASA are determined to find out who leaked the information. They become suspicious of Moon-young, but before they can check her phone, they receive a call from the White House. After extensive efforts from CASA, they manage to restore communication with the lander. However, the minister is unhappy, believing that reviving Hwang in the public eye is pointless if they cannot bring him back permanently. As the meteor shower worsens, Kim realizes they need to move Hwang to a safer location, but he is unsure where. Suddenly, good news arrives from the USA. The White House has ordered NASA to assist Hwang, and this news spreads worldwide. The American lunar station and Moon-young establish contact with CASA to plan the rescue mission. However, Moon-young is kicked out of the NASA office and sent to the disciplinary committee. She is allowed to stay for this final mission to maintain a positive image for the White House. Moon-young warns them that they only have one chance to succeed. The American station begins its journey to dock with the South Korean ship. Hwang attempts to launch the lander again, but it fails due to lack of space and misalignment. Kim urges Hwang to abort, but it is too late. The lander crashes and rolls into a crater, destroying the docking port. The American station announces that they can no longer maintain velocity and stand by, forcing Moon-young to cancel the rescue mission. Kim desperately tries to give Hwang ideas to get the lander going, but Hwang has given up and shuts down all systems, including the oxygen supply. Kim pleads with Hwang not to repeat his father's mistakes, leading Hwang to confess that he discovered the truth in his father's will. Hwang's father knew about the faulty engine a month before the first moon mission but proceeded anyway due to his hunger for success. However, Kim interrupts, revealing that Hwang doesn't know the full story. Kim asks Hwang to forgive his father because he did inform Kim about the faulty engine a day before the launch, requesting a 2-month delay. However, Kim, furious after numerous postponements, proceeded with the launch. Kim begs Hwang to come back, and just as hope is fading, the computers announce that the oxygen supply is restored. Hwang has forgiven his father and is ready to go. Meanwhile, Moon-young overhears everything and decides to ignore orders, contacting CASA to create a new plan since she will be fired anyway. Kim worries about the broken dock, but Moon-young trusts that he can find a solution. Kim rushes back to the control room, and together with the scientists, they guide Hwang to go outside and manually activate the thrusters. With more room, Hwang successfully launches the command module. Meanwhile, Moon-young locks herself in her office and establishes contact with the astronauts at the American station. She informs them that there is no government directive but appeals to their shared identity as astronauts, urging them not to ignore a call for help from a fellow astronaut due to nationalities. The higher-ups break into the room and take Moon Young away. Huang realizes that landing on the brighter side of the moon is impossible, so he devises a plan. He collects memories from the other astronauts and straps a drone around his body. Kim orders Huang to open the hatch and jump. After much hesitation, Huang steps off the launcher and floats until he is close enough to the surface. He activates the drone, which shakes him until they hit the ground. Communication is lost, and everyone fears the worst. However, the American station announces that they are approaching for the rescue. The drone records Huang's face when he wakes up, allowing him to send his coordinates to the rescuers. Images of Huang being taken care of by the American crew spread worldwide, and people celebrate. The CASA director wants Kim to return to his job, but he declines and returns to his observatory. When Huang returns to South Korea, the minister welcomes him, pretending he always believed in him. Huang is hailed as a hero, but he focuses on honoring the memory of his fellow astronauts. He visits their families and gives them the items he rescued from the ship, sharing that Lee's wife's baby already has a name chosen by the commander, and telling Cho's son that his father is now on the moon. A month later, it is announced that South Korea is the 9th country to join the International Space Committee. Moon Young becomes the first female director of NASA, a decision made by the White House. Meanwhile, in the observatory, Kim receives a teacher and her class of enthusiastic kids to learn about space. One of the employees, dressed as an astronaut, demonstrates how the suit works. When he removes his helmet, Kim is shocked to see that it is Huang. The two men share a salute in recognition of their shared experience.